Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Jane's World. I am going to be talking with you every week about lifestyle, health, and of course my journey on becoming a new mom. I am 11 weeks and 1 day today, and that really was the reason I decided to start my YouTube channel. So obviously I've been procrastinating it for a long time, but having a baby seemed to be a really good reason to talk about so many things that I've gone through. So thanks for stopping by. Obviously, if you want to follow my journey, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss an update of when I put out a video, and ding my bell, please and thank you. Okay, so I was supposed to actually start this video at 9 weeks, and I didn't. I was absolutely insanely busy. My stress levels were out of control. I'll give you a bit of Coles notes on how this last year played out, because if it was in a movie it would be unbelievable, let alone my life. But this time last year I was in Canada. I'm currently in England. I'm sat in a parking lot trying to film before the sun goes down, which I've got maybe an hour. I'm just about to walk the little doggy. So yeah, a year ago I was living in Canada, and I moved there when I was 17. So I was originally born and raised in England. My family moved to Toronto, seems like forever ago, but yeah, a year ago today I was in Canada. In fact, I had just gotten back from a 3-week trip to Thailand, where I took my mum island hopping because she had been through a bit of a personal tragedy, and I thought what a good way to kind of get your mind out of a place that you're reminded of something consistently. So we went island hopping to Thailand for 3 weeks, and I met my boyfriend there. Obviously at the time I didn't know he would become my boyfriend, but we met and had a vacation romance and fell in love on a holiday. We kept in touch when we got back, and we made arrangements to try and see each other. He didn't, so I should say that the plans were already in the works for me to come to England to live, especially after what my mum had gone through. So those plans were there, but meeting Darren, meeting him made me look forward to that more, because I really enjoyed living in Toronto. It's such a beautiful city, and if you haven't gone, I highly recommend going. More so in the summer than the winter for me, but it was really lovely. So bit of a whirlwind with mine and Darren's relationship. I will dive into that a little bit more if anyone's really interested in the dynamics about a long distance relationship or trying to make that work. Anyway, eventually I moved to London and we started dating, and then we broke up basically in, I want to say, June. I didn't speak to him for about a month, so I actually thought it was completely over. And then yeah, he pursued me again, got back with me. He has 2 children, by the way, from a previous relationship, and that was kind of the reason for the breakup, was these complications with his kids. Now in hindsight, do I know that that was the real reason, or was this an excuse to try and for him to have his cake and eat it as well? I'm not sure. But you go with what you know at the time, and when someone's quite sincere, you think, you know what, I have to trust you, because otherwise I'm going to be a paranoid weirdo about the whole thing. And you know, I was in love, and of course you want it to work out. So okay, fast forward, let's say a couple months or a few months from there, we started dating, and obviously things get a little bit more serious. We decide that we're gonna move in together, and I made the decision to move down to where he is, obviously so he can have a relationship with his children. I certainly didn't have the ties and had the ability to basically be a bit more flexible with where I was going to live. So I did that, moved to the South Coast. Obviously, no family or friends there, which was a bit tricky in the beginning. And then, what do I say? 2 months into that living thing, I can't say it was all harmonious. There's definitely been some problems that have occurred, or things have come to light, and I probably could say now in hindsight, if I had seen all of these sides to him in the beginning, I probably wouldn't have moved. I probably wouldn't have invested so much, because there's definitely a sense of immaturity with this man. I don't even know if it's how it's going to come across at me talking about this guy who was, at one point the love of my life. Maybe I'm just saying that now in this moment because the flame, like the light's gone out a little bit, and I'm still really angry about what's happened. But nevertheless, here I am. We got pregnant. It was, like I said, a bit of a whirlwind. It wasn't planned, but when you're in love and you're with someone and that's kind of the plan, the path that you're on, I just thought if it happened, it happened, and we would be fine. Like, we'd work through things together. God knows I've worked through a lot of his issues and needs, right? With his ex and his kids and blah blah blah. So I'll just move this steering wheel. So yeah, now I'm 11 weeks pregnant. The news hasn't gone down well with him, so I don't know where this journey will end up, but as of right now, I'm thinking I'm probably going to be a single mum. So I'm on my own. Again, don't have family. My family are quite far away. Probably won't keep my relationship with him, unless, of course, there's a lot of work, responsibility taken for his actions, and the intention to want to change. Or I should say, the intention to want to change maybe is there, but the action towards the intention and the change needs to happen. And yeah, it took me quite some time in the beginning to really come to terms with, is this what I'm going to do? Am I going to keep the baby and, become a mom? And emotionally and spiritually and physically and all of this, I am ready. I can say I'm ready to be a mom. I'm even a little bit excited, but I think that enthusiasm was just squashed a little bit because it felt like I couldn't celebrate it. Like I was guilty for being happy about it, because my partner was definitely not happy about it and was very vocal about that. So that did make it difficult, and probably sparked like this just stress and anxiety and exhaustion and all of these things that you go through. And of course, we were going out, drinking. I was a smoker, so I quit immediately, and that in itself is quite hard to do. And then on top of it, your emotions and hormones are all over the place, and you think, what is going on with me? And I kind of had a sense something was a bit off, and I took my pregnancy test, and I think I was I want to say maybe 5 or 6 weeks pregnant, although I'm not even 100% sure today how far along I am, because I'm not 12 weeks yet, and I don't have my dating scan till the new year. So because of the new year, I'm probably going to be 12 and a half weeks. by the time I have my scan to tell me how far along I am, so I'm not 100% sure. But those are the Coles notes about how I came to be here, and from here will be my journey. And I'm determined, like, now I've made the decision, it is going to be positive. I am going to be happy about it. I will come out on top, because I have a good head on my shoulders in the end. I know I'm a strong, independent woman, and I will be able to provide for my baby. And I want to be happy about that, and I want to be able to celebrate that. You know, I've been alone so many nights, and just with my hand kind of on my tummy, rubbing my belly, thinking, you know, you're not actually really alone. You've got a little life inside you, and that brings me a little bit of comfort a lot of the time. A lot of the nights I've had insomnia, and my mind doesn't shut off sometimes, you know, and I can meditate and listen to hypnosis and sleep music and put lavender aromatherapy on my body, but sometimes it's just too much. This dog wants to go for a walk. Sorry, Paolo, but it'll be 1 minute. Okay, so this little baby that I have now is the size of an apricot, and it's causing a lot of trouble. I downloaded 3 apps on my phone basically as soon as I found out, so I can learn as much as possible about everything that I am going through, everything that I should go through. I didn't know what tests, what vitamins to take. I decided not to. I already take quite a lot of vitamins, so we'll talk about health and stuff if anyone's interested in that. I take a lot of supplements. I do tons of research on vitamins because they are not all created equally. It's not a regulated industry, so whatever you do see on the bottle isn't necessarily what's in the vitamin. So I do quite a lot of research on the companies and the standards in which they are made. So the ones that I do choose to take, I am confident that I am actually getting the contents of those nutrients in, and I am not just peeing them out, because that would be a huge waste of money in the end. So I've got a couple of apps. Pregnancy Plus is the first one I got, then I got Bounty, and then I've got What to Expect When You're Expecting. I registered for a whole bunch of sample baby stuff competitions. I just went a bit bananas because I couldn't sleep some nights. So symptoms that I've had so far, I think I would say my pregnancy's been textbook, because on the apps you get like, this is what you're going through today, and you go through, you know, next day it's like, you might be fatigued. I was like, oh, fatigued, is that what you call it? I've basically awake 20% of my day and sleeping 80% of my day. Or I'd get up, brush my teeth, have a bit of breakfast, have a cup of tea, and then I'd be tired. And I know, bud. And then I'd be off to sleep again. I'd sleep for like 2 hours or 3 hours. I know. Oh. Headaches, nausea every day. So morning sickness, my sickness, I think it was almost worse. Yeah, I did throw up a few times, but I guess it peaked around the 7th week, where I was actually throwing up. But the rest of the time, so I'd say 6, 7, 8 weeks pregnant, I was nauseous consistently, like nauseous. And it was definitely worse at night. It's like after 5 o'clock I was just worse, and I couldn't really, not that I had the desire to go out anyway, but I was just pardon my French, I was just miserable with it. Dry skin, that started. A little bit of acne around my chin has started. I've been super emotional, so just put yourself back into like being a teenage girl. Now I've got like all of these, it's like adult problems and big responsibilities and big decisions and big challenges and big changes in the mind of a teenage girl, when you just don't know your left from your right, but you kind of think you do. It's just, oh, what a minefield for like emotional turmoil that's happening. I'm bloated, so I look, I think, more pregnant than what I am, and I've had loads of gas. Like I've been burping, and I never burp. I'm not even a gassy person really, but I've just been burping non-stop, and that is just horrible. But that, I read, has to do with the amount of progesterone in your system, so to slow down the digestion so that your baby can get all the nutrients, and then of course then you're bloated. So I'll show you my bump. I feel more further along than what I am because I'm bloated. I mean, before I was pregnant, I could definitely get a food belly where I would look pregnant like I do right now. But now I know there's possibly a reason behind it, because your body's growing and expanding. My boobs have gotten bigger. I feel like my chest rib cage has gotten wider. My hips have gotten a little bit wider. Peeing, of course. That part I mean, you just have to. You've like no control over that, and you know the relief is going to happen when you pee. So I peeing twice every night now, about 2 in the morning, like 5 in the morning. I don't drink before I go to bed, so it's just a thing that started, and I think it's probably biologically the body's way of that was done on my bladder. The body's way of getting you used to not sleeping through the night ever again. What else have I had? Shortness of breath. That's a new one. Even just going up a steep hill, you know, a bit of a hill. Yeah, I'd have shortness of breath, or going up the stairs, run up the stairs. And then on top of it all, I have suffered from, which I think I've only just come to terms with, because I fight things in my mind a lot, and I do believe in mind over matter, and I do believe in perception, and I do take, you know, my omegas, and I do eat well. I obviously get enough sleep. Well, generally, aside from this hint of, what's the word I'm looking for? Insomnia, which is probably anxiety related, mainly due to stresses in my relationship. But either way, it's definitely antenatal depression. So those like complete loss of interest in activities, difficulty concentrating, Paolo, anxiety, sleeping too little or too much, just general sadness, and binge eating. And eating has mainly been like beige foods. For me, I have gone off a lot of foods. I've got a really keen sense of smell. It's really sharp, and I can just get put off something by you know, smelling it. What am I eating? Like cereal, toast. What else? Fruit. I had a big bowl of cherries today, which was really nice. Like vegetarian foods, and vegetables in general. I think vegetables, fruit, and then beige food, but nothing too massively flavorful, you know, bowls of like curries and Chinese and stuff like that. Just not for me at the minute. So what's happening over the next 3 weeks is my baby is going to double in size, or anyone, if you're 11 weeks pregnant, you're going to go through the growth spurt as well. So all the vital organs so he just hit his head on the window. All the vital organs are formed right now. He's got tiny little fingernails that have formed. Oh, there we go. He's getting really antsy, so I'm probably gonna have to wrap this up. But I'll do a bump shot. How can I do a bump shot? Can I twist that out there? Yeah. Okay, stand by and I will do a bump shot, and then yeah, it's Christmas Eve. That's basically all I've got to report on today. Oh, I did buy a pram yesterday. I'll talk to you about that in my next video. Providing I at least get a couple of subscribers, I will continue. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day. Okay, so with my jumper on, can't see much. Got a shirt on. Lay it up, it's a bit chilly. So from the front, you can probably see it just a bit. But then from the side, well, white on white isn't good, is it? But from the side. You can see it's kind of there. Right, I've got to go walk the dog.